But the thing that you still fail to realize, man, is that I'm a lot smarter than these trolls seem to think.
The block stay hot. Cyraxx shadow boxing, swinging at the air, undefeated in delusion. Reality don't care, Jupiter creeping, got the whole crew shook. But it'll rhymes, got a band from the book. Josh Block got the hell, bottle in his clutch. Captain of a ship that's been sinking too much. Over Navy rattling, can't step to the throne. Worry, talk the mic, let them reap what they've sown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel again. Today is Monday, June 30th while I'm recording this, so this one is coming from the 29th. This is a classic Cyraxx rant talking about all his future projects. It's one of his good old big things coming rants, so let's see what he's got going on.
What up, y'all? So, this video is going out to a guy who tried to help me out earlier by the name of Cole Fairley. And Cole, don't take this the wrong way, brother. I'm not mad at you. I'm not hating on you. None of that shit, bro. If anything, I respect what you're trying to do. I do respect it. But there's one key thing that you're missing, my friend. There's one key thing. And that key thing is what you're doing, which is underestimating me. Because you are right, though. I do have a lot of haters. You are right about that. I do have a lot of haters and a lot of people that like to, run their mouths. You're not wrong. But the thing you need to realize, my friend, is this. I tried going the route that you were talking about. I tried going that route once before. I tried to play into it. I did. I tried to play into it and make jokes and do this and do that. And you know what happened the last time I did that? I almost lost myself as a person, as a human being. And see, you say that, people want to see a shit show, and that's all well and good. Who doesn't like a good shit show? I grew up watching guys like Angry Grandpa, Angry German Kid.
My favorite Cyraxx shit show is as follows.
Hold on, y'all. What the fuck is going on? Oh, God.
My favorite part is at the very end there when you just hear him go, I got diarrhea all over the place. All right. I couldn't allow him to say shit show without playing that. Let's get back to it.
All that shit. I grew up watching that. Angry Gamer Nerd, I watched them. I understand the aspect that you're coming from. I understand that point of view that you're coming from. But what you need to realize is that's not for me. See, you think that doing that's my only option, but that, my friend, is where you're wrong. See, I'm multifaceted. I know how to do different things. See, I already had a plan in mind.
I'm multifaceted. I'm surprised that he knows that word. Yeah, clearly we're looking at a really complex individual before us right now, wearing the same shirt for 9 days straight.
If shit failed on the YouTube front, or on the streaming front as a whole, I already had a backup plan in mind. I already did my research, and I'm currently already working on said plan. I'm already working on said stuff. Because like I said, yeah, you are right. I do have people watching me. That is true. But just because I have haters watching me, that doesn't mean I give in to them. No, you do not give in to hate. You do not give in or feed into negativity because look at people like Logan Paul. Logan Paul fed in to the haters, and look what happened to him. He's now facing a fucking court battle. See, that's the problem with a lot of people and content creators. They give in to the fucking trolls and the haters way too much. And I myself as a human being, as a person, as a good, genuine person, I can't allow myself to do that. Hey, yo, shout out to William. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
He can allow himself to get caught talking to kids on a regular basis. He literally just got caught sharing like little girl anime shit in a private Facebook messaging group. But God forbid he allows himself to play into the troll's hands. That would really be losing himself as a person. All right, Chance.
Like I say, Cole, I understand where you're coming from. I do. I get it entirely. 1,000% I get it. But I, as a person, cannot allow myself to fall to the dark side like that. Because if I fall to that dark side and I allow myself to be consumed by that and I start going that route, it's not going to end well for me. The last time I did that, I almost lost myself as a person. I almost forgot who I was. And I myself cannot allow myself to do that. Which is why I stay away from doing that. That's why I do not respond to trolls. That's why I do not feed into them and give in to what they want.
He responds to the trolls every single day. I can't tell you the last time that he put out one of these streams that I didn't hear him say William Gloryhole, N-Word-Boy, Music Biz Marty. He talks about trolls that aren't even like on the planet anymore. Come on.
See, think of it like this. Think of it like a Star Wars type story, right? You have the Jedi who represent the good and might make mistakes, but they still come out on top. And then you have the Sith who feed into the darkness, which are the people that give into every single bullshit thing that they could possibly do. And they allow people to warp and twist their minds until eventually they forget who they are as a person. And me, I walked that borderline. That is true. I am walking that borderline. Kind of like Mace Windu. How Mace Windu walked that fine line between Jedi and Sith. I walk that very same line a lot of the times. But I more lean towards the light side of things, the Jedi side of things, if you will.
Now I want to see a Chance Wilkins biopic where he's played by Samuel L. Jackson.
I refuse to give these people what they want. They want me to rage out, I will not give it to them. I will not do it because, see, I see where you're coming from. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I see where you're coming from, man. I do, 100%. I get it. A lot better than you might realize, actually. I do actually get it. But see, what you're not realizing is this. I see things far ahead of what you're seeing, my friend.
He saw so far ahead that he plugged the new... I know I keep talking about it, but he can't stop plugging the fucking USBs into his Xbox even. But he's gonna talk about how far ahead he sees? Like, that's just not... If you try to do a trick on a skateboard and you fall down and, like, you know, bust your nuts on a fucking rail, you can't immediately after that like brag about your balance. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give it a little bit of time because everybody just saw you make a fool of yourself. So now if you try to brag about that thing, the only thing anybody's going to be thinking of is the immediate evidence that they have of that not being true that literally just occurred. You got to give it a little bit of time, Cyraxx, before you start talking about your abilities in prophecy again.
See, you're only seeing it from one perspective. From the perspective, oh, you don't have a choice. But what you're not seeing is the fact that I'm currently fading away from these trolls. Because see, you might not see it right now. You might not see it, but I do. These trolls are slowly starting to die off and move on. Because I'm not giving them what they want. I am boring them.
I gotta say, there has been nothing boring at all about Cyraxx content recently. Some of the other lolcows are a little bit hard to find stuff to do updates on. Like, I've barely covered Tofia on the live streams because there's been like nothing new going on with her. Andy Ditch, he never cams up anymore, so even when he has his little meltdowns, you're just hearing the audio, so it's hard to like even cover that compared to this. Cyraxx, I didn't intend on becoming a Cyraxx channel exclusively. Like, I thought I was going to cover all the cows. I just end up covering Cyraxx 90% of the time because he does something every single day. The fight with Ed and Sally, calling out his aunt and having a meltdown on stream over that, bricking an Xbox and a Wii. There has been absolutely nothing boring about Cyraxx content. If anything, it's been popping off more than usual lately.
I am making them so bored that a lot of them are moving on, which is allowing me to slowly start to break free from that cocoon of hatred that they have tried to place me in. Hell, matter of fact, if you really want to know what I've been doing lately, I've actually been working on film work again. And not in the way that you think either. It's been a whole new experience for me. I've been working on a whole new, film type deal. So I've actually been doing stuff outside of, what these people want. And I've actually been doing quite well for myself. I've been slowly building things back up. Because see, the thing that you don't realize is you're fucking with an OG of the content creation game, dude. I've been doing this shit since 2010.
Just the longevity of time that you've been doing something for does not at all constitute you being an OG of something. You being an OG of something would mean that you've been successful doing it for a really long time, Like, you being really bad at something and constantly getting channels taken down and only ever getting hate in your comments, that does not, I don't know, you don't get bragging rights over that, you know what I mean? Like, that's like if you were like, I've been playing a certain video game for 10 years, but you're just terrible at it and you get killed all the time. Like, it's not a brag. If anything, you're actually embarrassing yourself by proving you've been practicing something for a really long time and not getting any better at it.
So I kind of have a very good grasp on how things work. And like I said, I'm not disrespecting you in any way. I mean, zero disrespect, man. If anything, you're one of the coolest motherfuckers I've ever met. Like, I can tell that you got a good heart. I can tell that you got a good head on your shoulders. You're a smart dude. I can see that. But the thing that you still fail to realize, man, is that I'm a lot smarter than these trolls seem to think. I'm 10 times smarter than what they think. Because you are right, a lot of them do try to, come in and try to fuck things up. You're right. But here's the thing. I let them get close for a reason. And you want to know why I let them get close? Because when I let them get close, and I let them show me who they really are without any boundaries, guess what? And I get to get rid of them. Why do you think my friends list is dwindling as far as troll accounts go?
Imagine bragging that your content is boring and your friends list is dwindling.
Why do you think a lot of them are dwindling down and dwindling down? Why do you think I'm getting rid of so many trolls? Because I do not want the hatred. I do not want that negative look. I am currently trying to clean up my life. Because see, I'm the kind of person where when I set my mind to something, regardless of what anyone says, I'm going to make it happen one way or another. Prime example, people said that I would never hit 1,000 subscribers over the years. I've had a lot of trolls say that, oh, you'll never reach 1,000 subscribers. And what have I done multiple times? Hit 1,000 subscribers. At one time, I did it in a world record time. I did it within a week. I hit 1,000 subs within a week at one point.
Cyraxx truly does not seem to understand the concept of like the hate watch. You know what I mean? Like just by virtue of people watching your content, that does not mean that people like your content. Like, okay, what's happening in the comments sections? You know, what's your like to dislike ratio? What's the interaction? What are people then doing when they repost your content with it? Like, he has this idea in his head that just because something is getting a lot of views, which to begin with, 1,000 subscribers, and as far as somebody as well known as Chance, that's already like a known quantity on the internet, that's not a lot at all. There's commentary channels that cover you that have 100,000 subscribers, so that's really not a whole lot of people to begin with. But for him to brag about having 1,000 people watching him, yeah, I mean, I lived in New York for a little while. Sometimes in Times Square, homeless guys would drop their pants and they would take a shit in the street. And like, guess what? You know how many people whipped out their phones or even just stopped what they were doing and watched? Probably just in person, not on live stream, not on the internet, just in person. There were probably, 2,000, maybe even 3,000 people in Times Square alone watching that homeless guy take a shit. That doesn't mean that he's like a successful musician or that he's a content creator, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you did something disgusting and people are looking at it like a car accident. That's really not a flex, Cyraxx.
And that's where a lot of these people fail to realize that I'm a master of my craft. See, people come in thinking that, oh, I'm this weak individual, but really I'm not. Because see, these trolls, it's just a game to me at this point. To me. Sometimes I feel like playing the game. Sometimes I don't.
It's just a game. Is that why you cry like once a week?
Most of the time I don't. Because it's just dumb to me. Yo, Tyler, what up, brother? You see, you say that my career in music or film or whatever, you say that that's never going to happen. And that the trolls are never going to go away. But that, my friend, is where you're wrong. Eventually they will. And eventually I will make shit happen. Because see, I'm the kind of person, when I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it my way, no matter what anybody says.
If he wasn't a predator, you would almost respect like the dedication to continuing to just bang his head on the wall and do the same thing over and over again. Like, if he was putting this amount of effort into anything else, right? Into like finding a job, into taking care of his elderly guardians, into fixing up the house, into like actually trying to create any type of content instead of just talking about creating content all day but never actually doing it, you would probably see that as like a positive trait. Like, you'd be like, damn, this guy has a lot of dedication. Like, all these roadblocks are in the way, and every single day he gets up and he still just puts all of his heart and soul into doing this thing. But the thing that he's putting his heart and soul into doing all day, every day, is just arguing with people on the internet and spewing delusion. So it's like, you can't even give him credit, where if he were doing this exact same thing in almost any other category of life, you'd be like, damn, this guy is, he just won't quit.
You can call it me being stubborn, me being naive and not seeing the bigger picture, call it what you want. But here's the thing, man. I see shit that most people don't see. I see things in a way that people like you don't see. Because see, while you're looking at it from one angle, I'm looking at it from multiple angles. I'm looking at it from a point of view of, okay, this didn't work, so how can I make this work with my current situation?
There is a lazy eye joke to be had about him saying that he's looking at a situation with multiple angles, but I'll leave it up to you guys because I feel like I make one every single video.
I always have a backup plan for a backup plan. See, the whole YouTube thing, the whole streaming thing, the whole gaming streaming thing didn't work out. So what did I do? I started working on music. And when I couldn't release music right off rip because of these trolls stealing my shit, what did I do? I got creative. I got creative with it. I sat down and I said, okay, what can I make work with what I got? And you know what I did? I started applying all my skills that I have in music and all my skills behind the camera for
You need to start applying to jobs.
doing film work, and I started creating films again, dude. I literally just made a trailer just yesterday. Well, last night. I just made a trailer for a fucking film I've been working on just last night. I just dropped the first trailer for it last night. Which, by the way, for all y'all that do want to see that trailer, I will be sending it to you guys in a message on Facebook personally for y'all.
That's a little scary. Be careful opening those messages up, because we read the WordBoi post yesterday about the last thing he was sending people on Facebook, and it might land you in a cell.
And see, that's the thing. I'm crafty with what I do. Yo, Zach, what up, brother? How you doing, man? And that's the thing that you don't realize, man. Good art cannot be rushed. Good art takes time. The most successful people in the world, were not rich right away. They were not successful right away. It took years and decades for them to get to where they're at.
Cyraxx, it's been a decade and you're not rich, so you doing this for 10 years doesn't constitute right away.
And me, I'm willing to walk that road. I'm willing to walk that long path as long as I need it. As long as I need to walk that path, I will continue to walk it. You know, one of my friends said something to me one time that has always stuck with me. Stand up for what you believe in, even if you stand alone. Walk beside your beliefs.
I love when he says like a very famous quote, but then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, my friend said this one time." Like he's attributing it as if the friend was the one that came up with it. Like he'll be like, "Yeah, you know, in the wise words of one of my teachers in high school growing up, 77 years." It's like, Cyraxx, come on. They didn't come up with that. They were quoting someone when they said it to you.
Walk beside what you want out of life, even if you walk alone. Because eventually, people will see your vision and they will start to follow beside you. The ones that are meant to follow will follow. The ones that are meant to stay will stay. But the rest that don't see your vision, they are only temporary. They will fade away. Hence why I do what I do with film work right now. That's why I'm taking a backseat from music as a full-time artist and am currently working on, film work and doing other stuff as well. Now, I'm not saying I'm quitting music entirely. I'm not retiring. I'm never going to retire from music until I'm not able to do it anymore. Like, once I hit my 70s or 80s and I'm not able to do it anymore, then yeah, I'll probably retire. But I'm not writing it off entirely. I'm making use of what I have available to me right now. Hey, Geraldine, what up, man? Hope you have a good day at work, brother. Hope you don't work too hard, man. But like I said, for me, as a music artist, music is taking a full-blown backseat for a while. As far as, like, me releasing music and a soundtrack and stuff like that, like, that's all being put to the side for now. Like, that's all being pushed to the side for now. Because I'm utilizing what I have available to me. Instead of focusing on what I can't do, I'm focusing on what I can do and what my skill sets are. And one of my skill sets is creating film work. One of my skill sets is creating scores for films. So what am I doing? I'm combining those two things together and making films and doing that shit for a while until I can get a proper setup and start doing gaming streams again on the weekends and stuff and having fun. So therefore, matter of fact, you know what? I wasn't necessarily going to do this, but I'm going to let y'all see the trailer firsthand that I made last night.
So what's the over-under? He shows us the trailer on that screen just through his phone. It's got to be 100%, right?
And I want you guys to see this. Because this is actually a film I'm currently working on. Let me see.
He's just holding it sideways.
Whatever this thing is. Yeah, they tried this. Brother, the only way to stop the monster is to accept that I am one. You are meant to lead us into the next evolution.
Oh my god, the fucking we'll get into the AI actual, like, video in a second, but the, like, shitty AI EDM techno in the background is, like, fucking... It's as bad as any other music he makes.
Then let me be the ghost of their machine. Hey, are you still out there?
And that is the trailer for my film that's currently in the works. And if anybody wants to know if I have the original footage for everything, yes the fuck I do. I have all the fucking footage. Right.
So, like, what do we think he typed into the AI to get that gorilla apocalypse Planet of the Apes, but make it worse. Like, it was the most generic AI slop I've ever seen in my entire life. And I really think that he wants everyone watching to believe that he, like, coded that. Like, he animated that like he's at fucking Pixar, and he did that all by hand. That's shockingly bad.
Right here on my computer, so nobody can say shit about nothing. As you can see, I've already literally started to work on the film. And so, as you guys can see, I got some of the clips already ready to roll. As you can see right here, let me go here, let me sign out and go over to my other PC where my shit's at. Shout out to Marcus, what's good, bro? Yes, I do own the copyrights.
I highly doubt that he owns the copyrights because 99% of the time when you're using one of those AI generation things, if you don't pay money to, like, I don't know, it'll be like $7.99 a month or something. If you don't pay money for the membership, you don't get the copyright to whatever the AI generates. It's like property of the person who owns, you know, the AI. So, like, there's no way that he paid, you know, whatever the monthly, maybe he did a 7-day free trial or something and got the copyright, but I highly doubt that he owns that shitty footage that he can't do anything with anyway. Also, how many fucking Google accounts does he have? Oh my god.
Sign into my main account.
I feel like I'm only just noticing now. I think there's a little statue of a chick from My Hero Academia on his keyboard there, which just like, of course there is. I watched maybe the first season of My Hero, and it's not particularly for me. The screeching of the protagonist is very Nova-esque, which makes it hard for me to get into. But I do like superhero shit, so I gave it a shot. But it's very, not saying anything bad about anybody who likes My Hero, but it's very Chance Wilkins to like a show about, how do I say this? It's very Chance Wilkins, it's very Earl Doobie of him to have a statue of a minor from a show where all the girls are in high school and they wear the little uniforms and everything.
Ooh, that was an ick. As you can see right here, where the fuck is it? Now let's see if I can find it here. I logged into the wrong one, hang on. I have like 3 different accounts on here just in case. So let me log into the proper one real quick.
Completely unprepared all the time.
Here we go. As you can see, I got all the stuff for this shit. And I just gotta wait for all the videos to pop out because there's quite a few here. So just gotta let them load in, baby. And as you can see, June 29th. And as you can see, right here is all the clips from the film, dude.
Everything is all AI generated there. This is like when he was showing clips of his music that was AI generated, and he was saying that clearly he owned it and he was the original creator because there was a last modified date on the file. Like, it doesn't prove that you made this yourself. It just proves that it's physically on your computer. I could download a movie to my computer right now, and then I could show you that there was like a modification date in the file. That doesn't mean that I made the movie.
For the film, as you can see. And every one of these I own. Every one of these I made by hand myself. Like, I literally did everything on here, so.
By hand in terms of I had to type the prompt into the AI generator. Come on.
If anybody tries to fuck around, I own the copyrights, bitch. Like, dude, I even got stuff that was cut from the trailer, like this scene right here.
Let's see if the forest made you strong enough to face the machine.
Or one part that actually is in the trailer, which
Let's see if the
is
forest made you strong enough to face the machine.
one part that is in the trailer that you guys saw. Not that.
Let's see if the forest made you strong enough. Let's see if the forest made you strong enough to.
Maybe one day VR headsets will become cheap enough that, like, even Cyraxx's broke ass can end up with one, and we'll just never hear from him again because he'll just get to do his karaoke in front of a crowd of thousands on VR. You know what I mean? Like, maybe one day we'll get lucky enough that that'll happen.
Let's see if the forest made you strong enough to face the machine.
Why does it keep doing that?
He literally cannot operate his computer well enough to play the video, and he wants us to believe that he made the video.
Let's see if the forest made you strong enough to face the machine. They tried this before.
No, it's not.
They tried this before. Brother! What if the only way to stop the monster is to accept that I am one? They tried this before. Brother!
Alright, I can't watch him dick around with this computer anymore. That's about enough of that. That's all the goblin slop that I have to serve out to you guys today. And like I said, once again, thank you guys for coming by the channel. We did just get monetized finally. It was confirmed. They sent me back the information, so I'm working on setting up some member levels and custom emojis and all that good stuff. So there should be a live stream coming out doing a little bit of gameplay on Wednesday. Those of you who were in the last live stream know what I'm talking about. For the rest of you guys, it'll be a surprise. And other than that, we'll just keep doing our regular Cyraxx programming every time that he puts some bullshit onto the internet. But until then, then, thanks again, and you guys have a good one.